Hello and welcome to Baldur's Gate 2 Extended Edition, a practical walkthrough, part 3. This is going to be the walkthrough where we talk about character setups. We're going to be talking about group setups. So I'm going to give you the groups that work the best in terms of combat and narrative and romance. And then I'm going to give you a list of the quests that are sort of best to do first, and which will make things a lot easier later on. So let's get right into it. I'm going to give you the first group list, and this is the list for if you want to be a archer or a fighter. So number 1 is Nera. Let me just give you the names. Nera, wild mage. Victonia, cleric. Keldorn, paladin. Minsk, ranger. And Yosheo, the thief, who can later be replaced with Imoen. And also, Minsk is interchangeable with Nera if you feel like adding her for whatever reason, if you want to do a romance or you just really like her for whatever reason. And this also will have the modifier of adding Hexxat to the group. But that's something I'm going to talk a little bit later on, and that would have to involve a mod, which does exist, to make sure that Keldorn doesn't kill Hexxat, because he does that automatically if you try and let her join. So let's go right into it. Let's talk about each of these characters. By the way, I'm going to try and condense this as best as I can, but this could go on for... I wouldn't be surprised if this goes past 10 minutes. Okay, so let me just... Okay, so first off, you have Nera the Wild Mage. She is awesome. Partly because she's a wild mage, and wild mages are crazy for nuking and stuff like that. She's also one of the funniest characters in the game, and she's fully voice acted because she's one of the extra edition characters. So they put a lot of time into her quest, and they put a lot of time into her character. So that's part of the reason why I love her, because she's just amazing. And in addition to that, she has, to be honest, she has one of the only quests that I've ever actually cared about the NPCs. I have never actually cared about the NPCs in any other case except with Nera. So that's something, by the way, quick tip, when you get Nera, make sure that you do the side quests for her group if you want them to live. So just a little bit of extra caution there. So the next person is Victonia, who is right here, evil aligned. She's a cleric. She's probably one of the best clerics in fact, she is the best cleric in the game, and you're going to need her for things such as protection from evil, restoration magic, just really good stuff. She may be slightly weaker in the late game, but definitely in the beginning to middle game, she's very, very powerful. She also boasts one of the best romance lines. Oh yeah, romance for Nera is also pretty good. Has a really good ending, I think. The Victonia romance quest is actually one of the best of the original. I love her. I love it more than Area, because I thought she was a little too vanilla. But what's really great about her quest is you actually have the ability to change her from neutral evil to neutral good if you select the right dialogue options, and she's like a progressive character, so she actually changes quite a bit, which is kind of nice. So that's Victonia. Keldorn is awesome as a tank. He's probably the best tank in the game. He also has crazy magic resistance, and he gets one of the best swords in the game. I think this is actually it. Halloween no, that's not it. But anyway, he gets equipped. He has the ability, if you kill the red dragon, to get one of the best swords in the game. In fact, the best sword of the game, with like 50% magic resistance. It's crazy. It's awesome. So that's probably why I have Keldorn in. He also has, his little mini quest is also pretty interesting, but the main reason I have him in is because he's just awesome. Then I have Minsk, who Oh yeah, by the way, Keldorn requirement is you need to get the gloves of dexterity, because if you don't, he's gonna suck. But once you get those gloves, he becomes infinitely more awesome, essentially. So all right, let's go back and find Minsk. Okay, Minsk is awesome for a couple of reasons. First of all, he just makes a really good tank for whatever reason. I discovered he's just really good for tanking damage. I've also noticed that he's also really good with two-handed weapons. He's just good at like pretty much everything, and he's really funny as well. So in terms of dialogue, he's definitely worth having in your group just because he's funny and stuff like that. Okay, and finally we're going to go to the last one, with is Yosheo, who you later replaced to Imoen. I don't even really need to show you his stats. What's important to know is that you can actually, if you wanted to, you could replace Yosheo with Hexxat, and then you wouldn't have to add Imoen in, which might be great because Imoen is a spellcaster, and you don't want to have more than 2 of those in your group, really. So that's actually a requirement, that you don't have Imoen in your sort of group when you are a mage, or Nera, or you just gotta cut out one of your spellcasters because you can't have 3 of them in your group at once. It's too much. So, let me just show you Hexxat quickly. So Hexxat, also known as Claire, is a vampire of sorts, and I'm trying to do this without, spoiling everything, but suffice it to say, she has crazy stats, and she also has a robe which lets her go out during the sunlight, but which nerfs her stats back down to here, which isn't too bad. I mean, it's kind of yes, it is kind of bad, but it could be worse. More importantly, she is pure thief, and she's insane. She's insane. Who do you know has strength 20, dexterity 20? Like, she would be great. She's great to take with you on quests that have to do with dungeons, which are quite a bit of them. So you could take her into the Underdark. You could take her wherever. And as long as you add sort of a mod to get Keldorn to not kill her automatically, she's amazing. Okay, so let's go on to some of the other builds I have set up. You'll have to excuse me, I need to get out my list very quickly. Let's see, this is the Nera, Keldorn. Okay, so I'm just going to throw out some other builds you could do for Archer. You could have Neera, Victoria. You could mod Keldorn, so he's a paladin / thief, just so you have someone who's a thief. And then you could have Minsk, and you could have Jera or Minsc. So yeah. Let's go straight down to mage. Okay, this one is actually quite tricky. The characters you're going to need for this is you're going to need Victoria. No, wait, this is... Let me... So some of the mage lists would be, you could have Neera, you could have Victonia. I keep saying Victoria for some reason. It just seems right, even though it's not, clearly. So you have Neera, you have Victonia, you have Keldorn, you have Minsk, and then you have Hexxat. And that would be a modded one to make sure that Keldorn doesn't kill Hexxat. So build 2 would be Neera, Victonia, Keldorn, Minsk, and then Imoen. But this time around, you mod her so she's just a pure thief. You could technically just set her to auto and just leave her like that. Auto spellcast. I don't know if I would do that, but that's one way you could do it. Or you can just mod her to be pure thief, which isn't actually, you're not breaking canon, because in the original Baldur's Gate, Imoen was just a pure thief, and then they changed her to a mage as well because I guess it just worked better for sort of setting up groups and stuff like that. Number 3, this is pretty good, big. Set it to Victonia, Keldorn, Minsk, and Imoen, and that's completely vanilla without any modding. But you have to get rid of Nera because you just can't have that many spellcasters at once. So those are sort of my options for mage, and anything else is really, I mean, up to you, I guess. You know, a lot of people might be tempted to take up Area, just because she's really, really useful to. She's kind of like a mage and she's a cleric, but you know, I tend to take her out. I find that she levels way too slowly, first of all, so she's kind of weak later on. Anyway, I guess that's actually it for character setups. So now I'm going to go into quests. So this is quest time. What should you do once you get out? Because you're going to feel a little overwhelmed. Step 1. We're picking up Nera. Head over to the bridge district. You'll find Nera. She'll teleport away. No, she'll head over to the woods, and then she'll ask you to help her out. Do that. Do some of the side quests. Don't pick up the wizard that they ask you to pick up right away. Instead, you know, you could do some of the other quests first. You could do the side quests. They give you cool rewards, by the way, for doing those. So, and plus it saves their lives if you do that. So, be a good person, right? So, do Nera's quest. You know, you don't have to complete it right away. You can sort of do other things first, but you need to get Nera in your group. So that will replace Imoen as your spellcaster. You should still have Yosheo, I believe. If you don't, then go get him. So yeah, so there's Yosheo. Then what you want to do after that is you want to head over to the government district because you're going to go pick up Victonia, or Victoria as I have somehow nicknamed her. So go to the bridge, go to the government district. You'll find her, you know, over there. Pick her up, and then after that we're going to go get some items. So right away, the quickest item you can kind of get is, how do you pronounce his name? Lilactor, I believe, also known as the Talking Sword. It's a +3 weapon, and it's cool to have. It's a two-handed sword, I believe. Yeah, great weapon to have if you can deal with the annoying voice, but you're just gonna have to deal with that for right now. So pick up Lactor. Then you're gonna head over to the bridge district again, and this time you're going to be solving the murders for Skinner. And the only reason you're going to do that is because Skinner has this really cool, you can get this cool cloak. I think it's like a cloak of protection or something from doing the quest. And it's under his house. Not, I believe, in his room, but like actually in the underground sort of dock that's under his place. So do that. Then after that, you're going to, and the only reason I'm suggesting it is it's very quick to do. So that's why I'm suggesting it. After that, you're going to want to go pick up Keldorn. So head over to the, what's it called? Head over to the Temple District and get the Unseeing Eye quest, and then you do that, you get Keldorn, you also get the braces of protection. You get the sorry, I'm blanking on some of the stuff right now. You get the braces of dexterity, which then boost him up really high, and that stuff. Now, one thing though is if you're going to get Hexxat, because she's really, really powerful, and you've decided, you know, you're gonna break the game a little bit by modding Keldorn to not kill Hexxat, then you should probably do that right after you pick up Victoria, just because. So let's see. So now you've got Keldorn. You've got, you've done the Unseeing Eye quest. You're all cool and stuff. After that, you're going to have two quests. You can do the Red Dragon quest, which is pretty cool, or you can do the Umar Hills quest. Now, if you do the Red Dragon quest, either way you're kind of clearing out something that you're going to want to finish in as soon as you get sort of out of the Underdark. So if you do the Umar Hills quest and you clear out the temple there, you get access to you basically clear out the temple, and then you're going to need to go there anyway, because when I'm not going to spoil this, but you need to revive someone. It's a required quest, kind of. So if you want to do that, then you need to go back to... Then, clearing out this temple is a good idea, because by the time you get back, there's nothing there, so you can just walk right in. Now, the other thing you might want to do is do the Red Dragon quest, because it's sort of a paladin. If you do it, then you're going to want to go back there anyway, because if you have Keldorn, then you're going to want the awesome sword that comes from the dragon. So yeah, that's something you can do. So I would recommend doing the Red Dragon, honestly. But you can do the Umar Hills. It really doesn't really matter either way. Anyway, that's basically my setup. After that, you can go get Imoen from wherever, because I believe the Red Dragon quest gives you, I think that's like about 10,000 gold or something of that nature. I'm not really entirely sure, but that's basically it. So you get Imoen, you get out of that, then you can go back and you can do all these quests. You can even do all of these other quests that you couldn't do before. I would really recommend the what is his name called? Keloxel or something. Just look up Golden Skull or Golden Torso or something. One of the nice things about getting Keldorn and doing the Beholder quest is that you'll get access to one of these tombs that you're going to need to do that quest. And it's a really hard boss fight, but it gives you the best ring in the game, and it's really cool. So this is the optimal setup, I believe, of quests to do, and just things that will hopefully help you along the way. So good luck, and I really wish you the best of luck in this game. It's a great game. You're gonna love it. I played through it. I love it. You're gonna love it. So good luck.